You weren't supposed to see this, but somehow, here you are. And deep down, you know it wasn't random. Because if you've ever stood in the bathroom unsure, frozen with anxiety, questioning if you're truly pure, then this message isn't a coincidence. It's a lifeline. Maybe you flushed the toilet but still walked away uneasy. Maybe you washed and washed again, until your skin ached. And yet, that voice inside whispered, what if? If you've been stuck in that loop, this isn't just a video. This is your way out. Because the truth is, purity in Islam was never meant to be a battlefield for your mental health, but Shaitan has made it one. And today we're going to take it back together. Let's begin with the question that triggered this discussion. A sister once asked something seemingly simple. If someone urinates and then flushes, and afterward begins cleaning themselves, could any splash from the toilet make them impure? Now, many might dismiss this as insignificant, but if you've ever lived with this type of anxiety, you know how deeply it can affect your worship. This isn't just about water or splashes. It's about how spiritual fear, left unchecked, can spiral into obsession. For many, this simple question becomes a gateway into Waswasa, those obsessive whispers of Shaitan that turned faith into fear and Wudu into war. Let's be honest. For many Muslims today, the bathroom is no longer a place of cleanliness, become a place of torment. What should take 5 minutes becomes 30. What should bring calmness instead brings panic. You step out of the toilet, and then step right back in. Again and again. Why? Because somewhere in your heart, a doubt lives and it's growing. Shaitan has turned your sincerity into a trap. But it's time you remembered what Islam teaches. That this religion came with ease. That the Prophet emphasized clarity. That Allah wants peace for you, not paranoia. So here's a rule every believer must hold. Tight 2. Certainty is not removed by doubt. This is one of the golden principles in our deen. If you were sure you were pure before, and now you just feel unsure, you are still pure, full stop. You don't repeat your wudu. You don't wash again and again. You don't investigate every drop. Unless you have physical proof of impurity, Islam says, you're clean. You are in a state of Taharah. You don't guess your way into filth. You stay with certainty until there is solid evidence otherwise. Now let's talk directly about toilet splashes. If you flush and some water splashes back, what then? Many fear this, but Islam is clear. Once you flush, the remaining water is pure by default unless you clearly see, smell, or feel something impure. This is based on the rules of Fiqh across all madhahib. Just because it's toilet water doesn't make it impure. And if you didn't flush, even then, when you wash yourself with clean water, the impurity is heavily diluted, so unless you see or smell najasa clearly, the splashes are not impure. But what if you're still anxious? What if you're the type who keeps going back and forth, stuck in your head? That's not weakness. It's not you being crazy. That's a spiritual trick. It's waswasa and it's real. But Islam gives you a weapon. Ignore what you can't confirm. If you feel anxious but there's no sight, no smell, no proof of impurity, you ignore it. And yes, even if your mind screams, but what if? You don't give in. Why? Because giving in feeds the whisper. And what we feed grows. Islam wants you to use your senses. So here are the only 3 signs you act on when it comes to impurity. Smell. If it stinks like impurity, then it's najis. Sight. If you actually see dirt or a brown stain and know where it came from. Touch. If something sticky or unusual touched you, and you can confirm it's filth. But a quick splash, a doubtful drop, a feeling with no proof, that's not enough. You don't act on feelings. You act on knowledge. That's the difference between Islam and waswasa. Still feel uneasy? Here's what to do practically. Wash the area once with clean water. Do it intentionally, with sincerity, then move on. No repeating. No mental replays. No dragging it into your next prayer. You did what Allah asked. That's enough. Allah doesn't burden a soul more than it can bear, but Shaitan does. Shaitan burdens you with doubt, guilt, and second-guessing until you begin to believe that maybe Allah won't accept your prayer. But that's a lie, because Allah is most merciful, and He does not expect perfection. He expects effort. He expects trust. You're not alone in this struggle. Many Muslims suffer in silence, afraid to even bring this up. They lose hours of their lives trying to feel clean enough. They delay salah. They fall behind. They start to avoid their prayer out of shame. But they don't know that they're already pure. They don't know that Allah never asked for this kind of suffering. And maybe that's why you found this video today. Not by chance, but because Allah wants you to stop hurting. He wants you to come back to clarity. So here's what we've learned. The default is purity. If there's no clear sign of impurity, you are still clean. You don't let whispers undo what Allah has confirmed. You are enough. You are capable. And you are already doing better than you think. So from today forward, no more rewashing. No more fear-driven rituals. No more mental battles. Stop letting Shaitan steal your peace. And if this message brought you peace, then don't keep it to yourself. Share this with the brother who overthinks wudu, with the sister who cries in private because she thinks her salah isn't valid, with the teenager who delays every prayer from fear of not being clean enough. Let them know they're not alone. Let them hear the voice of reason, the voice of the deen. the voice that silences Waswasa and brings back barakah. Subscribe to Islamic Echoes for more reminders that heal your heart and strengthen your connection with Allah. Comment below if this is your story. Let's build a space where no Muslim feels alone in their worship ever again. And make sure you hit that bell, because this isn't just a channel. This is a movement, a return to clarity, to ease, and to Allah. Because Shaitan whispers confusion, but Islam echoes peace. And this is Islamic Echoes.